Welcome to the Western States Draft Horse Classic for the 6-horse hitch competition. This took place at Horseshoe Park and Equestrian Centre in Queen Creek, Arizona. Queen Creek is a suburb that's southeast of Phoenix, in case you're wondering, and we have 11 teams in this class divided into 3 heats. This first heat is all Percherons, but there are a couple of Clydesdales coming up, along with a team of Belgian horses. And be sure to stick around for a drive-off, where the judge wanted to take another look at 3 of the teams in order to pick out a winner. And if you're enjoying this video, please click the like button and subscribe to be notified of new videos when they're published. And you can share this video with others who might like watching draft horse classes like this one. Or you can share my channel with any friends who would like watching other types of horse shows as well. My last draft horse video was also the first one I've ever posted for draft horses. I wasn't sure how well it would do since it's a little different from the usual non-draft horse videos, but that one has done exceptionally well, and in the 9 weeks since it came out, it's received about 100,000 views and counting. Hopefully this one will do as well or even better. So again, sharing it with others will definitely help in that regard and help me keep making more draft horse videos. I'll put a link in the description for the last draft horse video in case you haven't seen it yet and want to check it out, or to watch it again if you've already seen it. There on the far side of the arena you see the express employment professionals, and then here comes the compassionate concierge physicians. As you can see, they are reversing directions, so now all of them will be going clockwise around the arena. This is the Yoder gravel team pulling the red wagon, and then rounding out the field is Strawberry Lane. And you can see the red trim on the horses, and that's because this is a second red wagon. Right there you can see the red wagon for Strawberry Lane. Now they come down to the walk, and with draft horses it's more like a collected trot in the horses I ride. One thing I learned very quickly in watching these draft horse classes is they do like to run, and here they let them back up into the trot. When they go down to the walk, they don't keep them there for very long. Here again is compassionate concierge physicians in the green and white wagon, and then now we watch the Yoder gravel team one more time. Tried to give you a nice mix of regular speed and slow motion, and sometimes I'll zoom up like I did here, and then sometimes show the whole team. I try to make your viewing experience as close to actually being there as I possibly can. I think shooting in 4K video and with a really high quality Nikon camera and amazing lenses really helps to make it feel like you're there. Since we have 3 heats, I would try to pick out one team that you think is the best for each one of those 3 heats. You can let us know in the comments what your picks are. Now Yoder gravel starts to turn toward the middle of the arena, and they will be the first ones to come into the lineup. They are followed by express employment professionals, and you can see they are now lined up. By the way, if you stick around to the very end, I'll show you what these guys look like from ground level. We'll pan down the line here as all 4 teams have come and lined up. Here you can see the riders in the wagon making adjustments and wiping down the horses and that sort of thing. As soon as they come into the lineup, they hop off immediately and get to work. So he's satisfied with how things look up front, and he walks down the line to check out the rest of the team. The judge there walks by to take a look at this team, takes his life into his own hands as he walks so closely to them, and then here he asks them to back up a few steps, and then they come back forward again. Here's a nice close-up of that horse as he looks over at us. And with draft horses, there's a lot of licking and lip flapping I've found when they're standing still. The judge looks over the last team of horses, and then each team begins to leave the arena one at a time. Right after they are out, heat number 2 will begin, so you'll have a fresh set of hitches to watch and pick out your favorites. That's all for heat 1, and here now is heat number 2. Started off by another little red wagon, or big red wagon in this case. It's the Percherons for the famed Ames construction team from Burnsville, Minnesota. Dick Ames passed away in 2019, but he left such an impact that even the news media down here in Arizona reported about his death. Next in is the South Creek Clydesdales from Fremont, Ohio. And of course, everyone is familiar with Clydesdale because of the Budweiser beer commercials. The next team is the Percherons from Clark Family Orchards out of Palisade, Colorado. As with most of these rigs, they're very color coordinated. So you see the driver and rider wearing purple jackets to match the color of the wagon. And the last one in this heat is the Double S Belgian team from Tillamook, Oregon. Belgian horses are so big and powerful, even for draft horses. The last video I made for draft horses did not have any Belgians in it, so I'm glad this class does. By the way, in addition to leaving a link for that video in the description, I'll also have a thumbnail image at the end of this video that you can click on to watch my first video of draft horses. Here's a nice close-up look in slow motion of that Belgian team. And then we zoom up across the way and get a nice look at the Clydesdales from South Creek. As we look across the way at the Clark Family Orchards team, you'll see that the Ames construction team has started the reverse. So now all the teams will start going in a clockwise direction. So here the Clydesdales have made it around to the near side and they are beginning the reverse as well. And just look at the feathers on those horses. That's really amazing on Clydesdales. I don't know why, but I really like this view where the horses are coming around the bend and headed straight toward us. And then they start moving away on the reverse. So the last ones to reverse are the Double S Belgians. And then that's the Ames construction team in the foreground. Here they are again after they've gone all the way around and they go down to the walk. As with the first heat, they don't stay at the walk very long, and now they are back up into the trot. You can see the jackets worn by the audience, and it was not a typical Arizona day that day. It was cold, windy, and rainy. But then the next day, it got sunny and warmed right up and was a lot more typical, and I did get video of that day, so watch for that video coming up in the future. Well, have you picked out a favorite from this heat? Again, you can leave a comment to let us know which ones you like from each of the 3 heats. But for now, they are ready to start lining up. First in is Ames Construction. Next is South Creek Clydesdales. And next is the Clark Family Orchards. And finally, the Double S Belgians completes our lineup. We zoom in to give you a nice close-up view of them, and I love those big white blazes on their faces. We'll pan down the line to give you one last look at each of these incredible teams. Now that the arena music wasn't very loud, I'll turn up the sound where the announcer tells about the jobs for each pair of horses in a 6-horse team.
And so obviously, we pair these horses side by side. Those horses each have a very specific job. The horses that are up front, that's called the lead team. They even have some athleticism and some strength. They are the leaders of the hitch. Right behind them is the swing team. The swing team, right there in the middle, there's that middle communication, if you will. And then the big strong horses right there in the back, that's what we call the wheel team. That's the team that's closest to the wagon. So leads up front, swings in the middle, wheels right there in the back. And so each of those horses have a very specific job. They're paired next to each other for a very specific reason as well.
As the judge looks over the final team, it's time to say goodbye to the hitches in this heat. So next is our third and final heat. This one only has 3 teams to round out our 11 total entries in this class. First in is Yoder Hay, and if the Yoder name sounds familiar, there was Yoder Gravel in the first heat. I believe the 2 drivers are brothers. Next is our second Clydesdale team of the class. This is High Point Clydesdales from Cache Point, Utah. Lots of white on those legs and feathers above the hooves. Rounding out the field for this heat and for the whole class is a local entry from Paradise Carriages in Surprise, Arizona. Surprise is the name of the town. Not that it's a surprise they come from Arizona, just so you know. Looks like this class is going to go a little faster because they have already started the reverse. I'm assuming the judge just doesn't need as much of a look because there are only 3 entries. So now they come down to the walk, and again they don't stay at the walk very long as they pick up the trot. There's the Paradise team completing the reverse. Here's a nice look at the Clydesdales for all of you Clydesdales fans, and I know there are a lot of you out there. And then you can see that Yoder Hay has come down to the walk. So nice close-up view as they go in slow motion, and again they won't stay at the walk very long. And here you can see the Clydesdales transitioning from the walk, and then they will go up into the trot. And there we are back at regular speed again, so you can see them trotting right along. And now we'll look in slow motion. I always like seeing both regular speed and slow motion when I'm watching horses or horse videos. Can't really see them in slow motion when they're live, so that's one advantage of watching on video as opposed to being there live. Remember, there will be a 3-team drive-off after this heat is done, so be sure to stick around for that. A drive-off is when a judge can't quite decide which place to give certain teams, so he wants a second look to compare them. Right after the drive-off is completed, all 11 teams will come into the arena together. That is quite a sight to see, so you might want to stick around for that too. But right now, Yoder Hay comes in to start the lineup. Next to come in is High Point Clydesdales. And finally, Paradise Carriages joins the line. Here I zoom in on the judge and you can see just how big those horses are compared to him. And then you can see him motion, and he's going to have that team back up a few steps. And then when they're done backing up, they come back forward again. So each team does that as the judge goes down the line. Here you get another look at that as he motions for Paradise Carriages to back up and then move forward again. The poor horses are probably wondering, why do you make us back up and move forward again? But that's us crazy humans, right? Well, that's it for this heat, as they will exit the arena one at a time, and then we will watch the exciting drive-off. And I'll just tell you now that one of those 3 teams will be the first place finisher in this whole class. As Paradise Carriages leaves, we get to meet our first entry into the drive-off. It is Strawberry Lane Percherons. Next, it's the Double S Belgians. And rounding out the field is Yoder Gravel. All 3 wagons are red, so apparently that's the key to winning a class in a draft horse competition. Just kidding, of course, about that. Take a good close look at each of these teams and see if you can pick out which one's going to eventually be our champion. You can leave a comment and let us know which of these 3 you picked out as champion, and you get bonus points if you were able to pick out that team during the first 3 heats as you watch those go by. Here they start the reverse, so we are getting close to finding out which one is the winner. There will be a champion, a reserve champion, and then we'll hear how all 11 of them placed and in what order. So enjoy these last few shots before all of that is announced. This is your last look at each in the drive-off, so that's Strawberry Lane. They are followed obviously by the Belgian team of Double S, and then finally it's Yoder Gravel. And here they come into the final lineup, and then we won't take as much time as before going up and down the line showing each of the teams since you've seen them already one time. And now all the rest of the teams will come back into the arena. This is not the order of finish, just so you know, we'll see that shortly, but this is the Compassionate Concierge team, followed by Ames Construction. Next in is the Yoder Hay team. After that, we have Express Employment Professionals. The 8th of 11 to come in is South Creek Clydesdales. Next is Clark Family Orchards. And then High Point Clydesdales, so the second Clydesdale team. And finally, it is Paradise Carriages to round out the field. So those are all your entries, and as we pan down the line, it's a pretty impressive sight. If these horses each weigh an average of 2,000 pounds, which is probably about right, that's 132,000 pounds of horses out there, or 66 tons. No wonder they bring them in on semis. Here now is your order of finish. Starting with 11th place is Paradise Percherons from Surprise, Arizona. In 10th place, it is South Creek Clydesdales from Fremont, Ohio. 9th place goes to High Point Clydesdales out of Cache Valley, Utah. In 8th place, it is Compassionate Concierge Services from Longmont, Colorado. In 7th, it is Clark Family Orchards from Palisade, Colorado. In 6th place, it's Yoder Hay from West Cliff, Colorado. And each of the top 6 finishers get a ribbon, so we'll get a quick shot of that for each one. Now in 5th place, it's Ames Construction from Burnsville, Minnesota. In 4th place, it's Express Professionals Employment from Yukon, Oklahoma. And yes, apparently Alaska is not the only place that has the Yukon. In 3rd place, it's Strawberry Fields Percherons from Didsbury, Alberta, Canada. And the tension builds as we wait to see who is the reserve champion, and it is the Double S Belgians from Tillamook, Oregon. I hope I said that right. And that leaves one more team to be crowned champion. It is the Yoder Gravel team from Stevensville, Montana. Congratulations on winning in a big field of amazing draft horses. So here they take a well-deserved victory lap. And as a little bonus for those of you who stuck around to the very end, I'm going to show you what a Percheron horse looks like from ground level. Just look at the size of these things, they're amazing. And if you want to see my previous draft horse video, you can click on the thumbnail image on your screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with more magnificent horses.